Back at Lang Park, we're in a position the Australian fans just love. 18 points to 6 over New Zealand in this third and deciding 4X test. Wally Lewis, the Kiwis have had to work very hard for their 6 points.
Yeah, they certainly have. They've been tackling for what seems like about 30 minutes of that first stanza, and I'm sure that Kiwi coach Bob Bailey will be just trying to sort out exactly what his players can do when they come out in the second period here. They've tried very, very hard, but the Australian defence has just been too good for them most of the time.
Well, Meninga put points on the board for Australia with 2 penalty goals, but Willie Kahn was the first man in for a try.
He's about 15 kilos heavier. Now there's space for the Australians. Great hands from Meninga, the darling. On the inside to his skipper. Here's Eddinghausen. Eddinghausen has Graham with him, but he's dummies. He's going to go all the way, Eddinghausen. No, he's not the Kahn. Kahn is under. That's a great Australian try. What a try, Australia.
They were all involved there.
Yes, Australia's support play has been very commendable in every game of the series, but the skill shown in this try here was absolutely tremendous. Eddinghausen, well, you would have put all your money in the world on once he got in the clear, but somehow a Kiwi defender got to him. Willie Kahn backing up to grab try number 2 for him. There's some very good play here. The passing under pressure really did make this try a tremendous pick-up there from Mel, but as you can see on the screen, there's 4 or 5 Australian attackers willing to be able to get to the ball. Willie Kahn just managing to get there. The New Zealanders put it quite well. They had a man for all occasions, but they just couldn't stop. They ended up 1 man short every time.
Conversion there by Meninga took Australia to 10 points to 0, and Meninga to within 1 point of the all-time test scoring record for Australia. Well, in the 25th minute of the match, he surpassed the record with a try of his own.
1 or 2 players seem to be going up. It's definitely not even.
Jackson with the ball to Salvatore over the top to Wishart. Wishart has support. Here comes another try. That's the Australian captain. That is the Australian record. The crowd go wild here at Lang Park for one of their favourite sons, Meninga.
Peter Jackson opened up a lot of space here for Australia with that cross run to put Salvatore into a very good hole. Salvatore managed to stand and tackle and fling a wide pass out, and Rod Wishart, as he has been all test, proving very, very hard to handle. Meninga just wanting to get involved. He's a guy that obviously wants to make this game a very, very important one, as it's quite special. Salvatore and Guy have been running into holes all night long, and that's been causing the Kiwi defence plenty of trouble. Meninga, as I say, once he gets into a position like that, you can put your house on it. There's no way in the world you'll stop him.
Well, things were looking pretty grim for the Kiwis at this stage. No conversion there, but Australia 14 points to 0 ahead. Gary Mercer, among all the Kiwis, have been copping a bit of a bagging up here in the commentary box. His defence hadn't been too terrific, but he was the man that made the bust that finally sent Jared McCracken in for their first try.
Friend working the run around. In centre field, Mercer splits them, but he ran away from Mikau. He pops it up to McCracken, who's got pace. Here comes the reply from New Zealand. Over goes McCracken beside the post. They're on the way back to Kiwis. It came from a clean break up the centre.
The Kiwis reap the rewards of some Australian tactics here in running angles. They switched the ball wide and managed to turn it back inside, and a cross angle from Jared McCracken really confused the Australian defence. He showed plenty of tail to get away from Andrew Eddinghausen here, but in all fairness, Eddinghausen must have been a little bit confused. He had a couple of players coming at him. Salvatore did pretty well to get across there. Australia's mark and play might have been a little bit slack, but I suppose once they got to that lead, they could have been excused for being a little bit lax in defence. But McCracken showed amazing pace there. I don't think anybody expected him to have quite that much speed.
Well, Frano Botica added the extras there, and it looked like 14 points to 6 was going to be the half-time score. But in the last few seconds, a big attack on the New Zealand line, culminating with a big barge by Martin Bella and a try to Steve Walters.
Yes, Bella's been a handful for the Kiwi forwards all night long. He's been managing to make 10 and 12 metres every time that he's got the football, and once again, it reaped rewards. Australia support play. Once again, Steve Walters has been doing it for every test match in the series, and that's paid the rewards. There was only scraps to pick up, but they ended up in 4 points with just seconds to go before half-time.
So after 40 minutes of play in this third and deciding test, it's Australia leading New Zealand by 18 points to 6. A lot of football to be played yet before we get a winner. But you could be a winner. We've already given away 2 Xerox fax machines during this test series. 1 to go. Get your pen ready and jot this down.
All you have to do in order to win this Xerox Compact 7009 fax valued at over $2,000 is simply answer these 2 questions. Who scored Australia's first try in the second test last Wednesday night at the Sydney Footy Stadium? And how many goals did Meninga kick during the same game? Write down the answers on the back of an envelope, along with your name and address, and mail to Xerox Rugby League Competition, 7Sport, PO Box 7676, Epping 2121. First correct entry drawn will win the Xerox 7009 fax, and keep in mind the results will be announced this Sunday on Sports World.
Well, Roy Masters joining me now, and by the statistics, Roy, the New Zealanders must be lying about on the dressing room floor exhausted.
They would be, and they would be have to be very careful that their coach doesn't walk around and tread on their fingers and try and wake them up a little bit. The point is that this is a victory for Bozo Ball. There's no doubt about it. Look at their errors, particularly the last line. New Zealand have made 24 to the Australians' 10, indicating the high number of missed tackles and drop balls that they're making. The rest of the statistics also in the middle do tend to reflect the evenness of the play, but of course New Zealand are having to make 119 tackles for all the errors that they're making.
Can they keep that up in another half of football, another 40 minutes?
The only chance they've got is in the first 10 or 15 minutes if they can jag a try, but Australia's very disciplined Bozo Ball play. It's a winner.
OK, Roy Masters will be back with Wally Lewis and Pat Wells for the call of the second half after this break.
The third and deciding rugby league test is being brought to you by the Commonwealth Bank, Forex, Kentucky Fried Chicken and Team Nissan dealers.